Welcome back to the Power Public YouTube channel. Today's video, we're going to be showing you how to do a wheel alignment without sniper laser aligners. So we're throwing it back to the good old days of making your own wheel alignment bars and putting them on the cart to do your toe in, your toe out, and we're also going to check our camber as well. Thanks to everybody that's been tuning in. This is actually a question from our friends on the interwebs, so I really appreciate everybody in the comments. And a special mention also goes out to our Patreons and YouTube members. We really appreciate that little bit extra. So now on to today's video. So for those old school go-kart guys, you probably recognize something like this from back in the day, and these are the wheel alignment bars. Now these are pretty rudimentary that I made here this afternoon, and it's a bit of 50mm aluminium, 6mm thick, it's 300mm long, and we've got a 25mm hole right in the center, and that's to fit on our 25mm stub axles for the Tony kart. If you had a 17mm stub axle, you could probably drill a hole over here and then you've got both. Otherwise, just drill the one and let's get it on. So with the wheel hub removed, we can slide our wheel alignment bar onto the stub axle, and then we're going to hold it in place using the hub, the spacer, the washer, and the retaining nut. And it's the same for the other side. So using a straight edge, you can center the steering column and then lock the steering column into place with a set of vice grips. Now grabbing the trusty old tape measure, we're just going to measure first the back and then we can measure across the front. As you can see, that was about 901.5mm both on the front and the rear, which means we're running pretty much straight ahead with our toe. We're not having any toe out or toe in. We can change that with the tie rods just like normal. But first, let's check our work using the sniper wheel aligners. So as you can see, the snipers are lining up pretty good here on the center line with neither toe in nor toe out. Okay, so now that we've checked our wheel alignment and it's looking like we're pretty straight ahead, we've decided, okay, I want to run a little bit of toe out. So now we're going to loosen off the tie rods and move the wheels out and measure them using the old school method first, and then double checking again with our sniper wheel aligners at the end. So now we've got the tie rods loose, we're just going to adjust a millimeter each per side, so we're back to 900.5, and this side we want to make 89.5. And if we check on the front, you can see that we've got 904 or 3.5, so we've got that 4mm of variation on our toe out. Lock the tie rods back into position. So now we can double check our work using the sniper laser aligners. Now as you can see on this one, we've got a little over 1mm of toe out on this side and just under 1mm on this side. Now as you can see, the old bar method is seeming to work pretty accurately compared to the lasers, albeit a little bit slower and inconvenient. The next thing we're going to check is see how accurately we can move the camber, measuring across the top of the cart and the bottom of the cart by moving the bars 90 degrees. So loosen off the wheel nuts, rotate the bars up to 90 degrees, tighten up the wheel nuts again, and it's the same for the other side. Looking at the tape measure, you can see that we're at 900mm here across the top, and we've got about 904mm on the bottom. If you were paying attention before when we had the snipers on checking the toe in and toe out, you would have noticed that the cart was running a slight bit of negative camber, and that's indicative of the measurements that we just took, because it was 900 at the top and 904 at the bottom. So effectively, we've got this sort of situation going on where it's narrower at the top and wider at the bottom. So now we're going to adjust those by loosening off the kingpins and moving the caster camber adjusters on the front of the Tony kart to see if we can get, say, 2mm of positive camber. So measuring the top first, you can see we are about 908mm on the top and 900mm on the bottom. And we'll just double check our handiwork using the snipers. So as you can see on the snipers, we have moved the laser up about 4 millimeters to 3 millimeters positive per side. As you can see, the wheel alignment bars are actually pretty accurate. When you put the lasers on and compare to the tape measure, I mean obviously it's way quicker, but obviously we're getting pretty much almost the same measurements using the bars as we do with the lasers. So if you did want to make some wheel lining tools at home, I whizzed them up here this afternoon using just a drill press and some marking out equipment. It's nothing fancy, that's for sure. And you can actually do a pretty good wheel alignment at home, so get to it. If you've made it this far, thanks heaps for tuning in. If you want some more Power Republic, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video.